Well, welcome and thank you for joining us on this Good Friday. Hope you have a pleasant Easter weekend, and we thank you for joining us today. As always, I'm joined by Kevin Jorgensen, and we look forward to sharing with you some exciting information from Select Sires and our Holstein program in this April genetic evaluation. It took us 2 times to get it right. We're a week later in joining you compared to what we had expected last week. But just to run down some of the summaries of what happened and how we got here today, there was some abnormalities to the type information that were discovered early last week. It was discovered a bad or incorrect type file was sent from Holstein to CDBC. Once that information was realized and the problem discovered, it was quickly announced that we need to have a rerun and provide the industry with the most accurate genetic information and the correct genetic information. So we did it all over again here on Tuesday. And I would say if we thought we were happy with the results last week, we were even more satisfied with the results here this week. A great day for Select Sires, and we're going to share a lot of that information with you today. As far as other changes, there really weren't too many major adjustments to the evaluation. Some minor tweaks and balances and editing adjustments, which really didn't have too much of a profound effect to the evaluation itself, which is good to report. You should notice that Zoetis updated the DWP formula. Some minor adjustments there, adding early first calving and removing heifer conception rate, increasing some emphasis on lameness, and then updating their economic values to be more reflective of the value of milk, fat, protein, in the incidence of some of these health traits in their cost levels. So you will notice larger dollar values for the DWP index, and so keep that in mind as you make your selection criteria and emphasis on regarding DWP. As far as some of the highlights, with a lot of positive changes at Select Sires, too many to cover all of them individually, and some great bulls that we won't get a chance to talk about here later on. But starting out with a bull at Lionel that went up 279 points. Renegade goes up 107. Tahiti 191. Foxcatcher, a new graduate we'll talk about. Legacy had a big day, gaining 60 points and $60. So a big, profound effect on our program and his genetic contributions. Big Al, another bull with significant increases and in a heavy influencing bull for us through game day and all his offspring. Luster P, Alphabet, just a short list of many of the positives. Our lineup from December had the largest positive increase in the industry for both TPI and net merit. And when you look at TPI, the top 4 proven bulls at Select Sires, 14 of the top 50, and we'll have 30 of the top 100 bulls. So from a genomic young sire standpoint, a tremendous offering here as well. We'll have 41 of the top 100 genomic bulls. And so our genetic portfolio is just as good as it's ever been. You're going to hear Kevin and I referred to HHP dollars or herd health profit dollars several times throughout today's presentation. This is a new selection index we introduced some time ago that's really a forward-thinking selection index for today and tomorrow's herds. When we talk about reducing the number of females and heifer calves that we're making, the importance of every single heifer in your breeding program is going to be more critical than ever. And to have profitable, long-living, high-producing, healthy cows and healthy older cows, we think HHP is specifically designed to really hit on those key traits, specifically moderating stature, improving udders, high solid milk, and then most importantly, mastitis resistance. So we're going to have 10 of the top 20 young bulls, including the number 1 and 2 HHP dollar bulls in the industry. And we'll have 27 of the top 100 proven bulls for HHP with the number 1, 2, and 3 bulls. So lots of good information. We've got more bulls than we've ever tried to get through in this short period of time. So we might move a little quickly. Ask your questions if we miss something throughout the next 55 minutes. But Kevin, take it away and let's talk about a pretty new, exciting bull at the top of the list.
Yeah, Rick, and welcome again, everybody. Happy Good Friday, as Rick said. Also, happy tax day. I hope, Rick, you get time to get your taxes in this week with all the do-overs that we did. But I think in terms of what Rick just touched on, just amazing. And we've got a bull to talk about. We mentioned him in December. And if you remember correctly, I mentioned that this bull's daughter yield deviation was much higher than even his proof was, and that he might have room to grow. Well, that's certainly the situation that happened with Lionel. Now the #1 TPI bull in the breed, moved up tremendously in both his production proof, his type proof. Everything went in the right direction. There was some question on this, and I'll refer you again to CDCB because he has some crossbred daughters in his information. They sort of double checked it and triple checked it to validate that the data is real. But as I mentioned, this bull was high in December. He was high and said his daughter yield deviation was really high. And I'll touch on a couple of things more in a minute. But when you look at a bull with this extreme of production, that basically leads every list. He settles cows. He's A2. And as you look at these daughters pictured, and I'm going to show you some videos here in a moment, I mean, this bull makes cows that I think are commercially friendly. And as I've said to a lot of people, he's the premier production bull of the breed. So when you look at a bull like this, we've got 5 sons of Lionel, and we'll talk about a couple of years, and I'll talk in a moment. We've got lots of sons that have Lionel granddams, including the #1 genomic bull in the breed that is not active in the baby bull list. The Lionel mother, they're made like these cows here, commercially friendly. This is a cow from the SSI program that we pictured last summer, or we actually went through a sale. So this is middle of the day, and this is with a dumb Norwegian or Dane like me using a camera phone. You can see that the cow's made right. She's got the right parts. And so I truly believe that Lionel is one of the special bulls of the breed. I mentioned a moment ago about it being the premier production bull. He's been that since the day he was released. When Lionel first came out, and I went back, I'm sort of a pack rat. I saved all our old mating sire lists. I went back to May of 2018. Lionel was nearly 900 pounds higher than any other mating sire that we were using at that period of time. And just for reference, the bulls that were in the mating sire list at the same time as Lionel in May of 18 was Riveting, Rome, Brass, Renegade, Huey, Solution, then Lionel, then Tahiti. So this bull, and all of those bulls are proven graduates at some point in their life. I think you can safely say that Lionel is the premier production bull of the breed and going to have a huge influence. But Rick, I think, as we look at his sons, these are some bulls that, as you look at what they're going to be able to do, similar production traits. Porter's a Lionel from a Delta, 185 pounds of combined fat and protein, exceptional, maybe a little better than his sire in terms of the fitness traits. Again, ranks high in HHP. Net merit, he's one of the top 50 bulls of the breed. DWP excels, but better yet, he's A2 and high fertility. And then in the case of Milky, a bull that really ranks well in the industry, top 20 net merit bull at 1176, high HHP at 1141. One of the highest bulls in the breed for DWP. He's a Lionel from an achiever. I like that mating. The next dam is an excellent Damaris, and then goes back to the old man Mir cow family if you go back far enough. But again, positive fertility, high production, good casings. Not a lot of reasons that these bulls won't get heavy use. And there's some more Lionel sons you'll see in the next coming months that'll enter next gen. Pretty excited about what he did. But Rick, you've got a bull that's pretty exciting as well, that maybe had as much of a splash as Lionel.
Well, absolutely. And Lionel, Kevin, I would just add, we have 12 different calves in our program from Lionel dams, in addition to those 2 really outstanding sons, a third son by Lionel named Perpetual that'll get released into next gen here in a couple of months. So fortunately, we've got some really positive contributions from him. And I would also add, there's probably never been a bull, at least in my 30 plus years in this industry, who has had his evaluation checked, double checked, triple checked, as you indicated. So, and to have a press release put out specific to his situation, I think that the team at CDBC and the Dairy Evaluation Review team has looked at the data and certainly concluded, as his genomic prediction indicated, this is an extreme production bull. And Wayne Peters commented that his Lionels are some of the most impressive milk producers he's ever had. So just a nice testimonial there. And thank you, Wayne, for that. But Tahiti, not to be outdone or overshown, is another bull that had a tremendous day. bull that added over 600 daughters to his production proof. He went up 460 pounds of milk, 20 pounds of fat, 16 pounds of protein. And his yield deviations, just like we talked about in December on Lionel, would still suggest he's got some room to grow here as well. But now already 860 daughters in his proof. Solidly the number 3 TPI active bull, the number 2 proven net merit bull in the industry, and he's the number 2 HHP proven bull in the industry as well. The frazzled son from an 81 point delta, then a very good super sire, then an 87 man, a deep cow family behind this bull. As we stated, he is an extreme production bull. You see the nearly 2,200 pounds of milk and 106 pounds of fat. But interestingly enough, he's a bull that's positive on DPR, so cows that have the ability to milk a lot and still get pregnant. And 5.3 on productive life suggests that he's going to be here a while. He's an A2 sire. He's positive on sire conception rate. The cow we've got on the screen here is the dam of Meshack, another nice influential bull in the next gen program. So as you reevaluate the sire summaries, you got to really kind of remember now, all of his offspring took a really big increase as well. And you're going to want to revisit. You're going to revisit a bull like Moonshiner, who looks as good today as he's ever looked before. We'll talk about a Moonshiner son or two. So his whole portfolio is, just risen to the top, along with the tide of his great production bull. So another positive comment just popped up from Daniel Brazil about milking 20 Tahitis, and they're averaging 97 pounds of milk, 106 energy corrected, so 127 relative value. Just another beautiful testimonial of what we're seeing and what producers around the world are seeing with Tahiti, and a tremendous day for a high ranking proven bull.
He's always been one of my favorites, and I was glad to see him getting the proof in the pudding, because he's done some really good things, and we added some new Tahiti sons back into the G-Force lineup. So watch those lineups, because we brought some of those back, like Jaws and other bulls like that that'll do really well.
Alphabet is another bull, another positive in changing bull, up 57 TPI points, 51 net merit dollars, added 89 daughters to his proof. Now the number 4 proven bull on the TPI list. Here's another bull. We talk about yield deviations, Kevin. Huge deviations suggesting this bull's got some room to go up, but impressive 2,400 pounds of milk, 103 of fat, 68 pounds of protein. This has always been one of my favorite bulls, especially as Helix reels to the top of the charts. One of the few Helix sons that we had in our system, and to see him deliver now with over 200 daughters is just very, very gratifying. I love the linear on this bull. The bull has some size, some length of frame, tremendous udders. He's 1.69 on udder composite. And for our program, a really easy bull to use on Tahiti daughters, on Lionel daughters, frazzled blood in general. So a Helix out of an 83 Yoder, next dam's an 86 point day. Really, really positive day for Alphabet. I had a chance to go up to Oakfield Corners several weeks ago, walking the pens, looking at bull mothers, looking at different daughter groups, and Alphabet was one of the groups I really, really wanted to see. After checking my pedometer and logging over 2.4 miles that afternoon, sometimes you see cows that just stop you in your tracks, and this Alphabet daughter absolutely did that to me, and I think really typical of what I saw throughout the afternoon. As I said, a little longer frame kind of cow, but just great udders, and when you consider that volume of milk in 169 on udder composite in cows like this, I think every producer is going to enjoy a little Alphabet in your breeding program. One of his sons that we were proud to introduce back in December is Magnum. And Magnum, as Alphabet went up, so did Magnum. Gained 135 pounds of milk in his genomic prediction, now at just short of 1,900 pounds of milk. Same production characteristics, 176 pounds of combined fat and protein. Nice productive life evaluation. And again, extreme production and still capable of being positive on DPR. He's an A2 sire. He's a good HHP bull. And again, out of a really nice 83 point Jared that's going to get better as she matures and develops. His grand dam is the 86 Burley on the screen. It was just the ideal cow that performed so well up in that large herd environment. Very good delta behind that. So a full pedigreed bull, now with a proven sire. And again, something very, very different for our Select Sires herds to utilize, and another great compliment back on all the frazzled and the legacy blood and daughters that we have out here in our herds today.
You made a good comment, Rick. And I know when people talk about bulls they want to use, and we'll talk on young sires in a moment, but young bulls from proven bulls. Well, I think what we've been able to do the last couple of summaries with Riveting, Rome, Big Al, those bulls have all been validated because their sires are there, and it's an extremely exciting time. When we look at new graduates, we had 14 new graduates, and it was not an easy decision process. I can tell you that on proof day. I mean, it was hard there are some bulls that I know people may ask questions about. They're not that we didn't like the bulls, but there's only so many that we can bring in. But 14 new bulls by 12 different sires. So again, from a diversity respect, does what we want it to do. 11 of them are mastitis resistance pro, and along with HHP that Rick mentioned, we have truly been selecting for this and trying to skate to where the puck is in terms of cows needing to live longer based on fewer replacements, based on all the dynamics that are out there. We know these things are going to be important, and we keep selecting for it, and it's not just a Johnny-come-lately strategy. One is Elite Sex Fertility, several of them are Robot Pro, Feed Pro, 2 new bulls in the top 25 we're going to talk about, and 6 of these graduates we used as sire fathers. And again, adding stability to the program is really, really key. So the first one was one that kind of snuck up on us, had an inkling that he'd maybe get enough data, but the early reports on Tryme have been nothing short of exceptional. Saw some just of recent here that have cabbed in, saw on the internet today, some of those already went 82, 83 points at 2 years and 1 month. So this is a bull that is early in his career, but what we see looks good. And I think, again, room to grow on this Resolve Son Tryme. Bred by Spencer Hackett up in Minnesota, one of our great partners. He bought the mother. She's an 86-point Prophet daughter, then an 88-point Jabir. Then there's a Shamrock behind there, and I always like to see a bull like him in a pedigree. But this bull's always been a fitness specialist, and he certainly is. You can be a breed leader for DPR, great on mastitis resistance again, and he fits that designation. But he's one of our high HHP bulls for the proven bulls in the lineup, and so even though he's a breed leader for net merit in the breed, he's the number 9 proven sire in the breed at 908, but he's also extremely good on HHP. Daughters have been exceptional, just starting to get, haven't got any pictures yet, but this is the dam picture here by the side. Just saw her again in January. I think an exceptional bull, again with a slightly different pedigree to frazzled bloodlines, to helix bloodlines, to Lionel bloodlines, with those great fertility traits. But this bull here, if you want different, that would be the case in Foxcatcher, Rick.
You read my notes. That's the first thing I've got on my list here is different. And it's refreshing to see that the system still allows a bull that is this unique, with the set of parents that he has still rise to the top of the breed with daughter data. Here's a Panther son. And a lot of you are going to say, who is Panther? He was a son of Oktoberfest, former Holstein International Outcross sire of the year. Dam was a Fox Song daughter. That's 81 points. Next dam was a Super Sire. That was very good. And then an excellent Bookham at Pencoal. That was a great, great young cow that developed wonderfully. So Foxcatcher, a new graduate. He'll be the number 9 net merit bull in the breed. He's the number 8 HHP bull of the breed. He's a bull that we have marketed through G-Force. So we have a current sire conception rate at over 2. So he knows how to get cows pregnant. He's another bull. When we look at the yield deviations on these 86 daughters in his proof, well above his current proof of 1,480 of milk and 85 of fat, 57 of protein. So the data looks really, really good. Low somatic cell, good mastitis resistance, high DPR, a down the middle of the road kind of a linear bull. And to me, that it spells invisible cow. So while he's been kind of an invisible bull with an invisible pedigree that we may not be familiar with, these are the kind of cows, when you look at the somatic cell, the mastitis, the DPR, down the middle, linear with central teat placement for both front and rear teat placement. They are kind of those invisible cows, which are actually the kind of cows that we want to have in our herds that don't cause you trouble, don't cause you problems, and you don't have to treat and deal with on a daily basis. So really excited about this bull. We couple daughter pictures here from Plain Knoll Farm in Ohio. already identified by some as one of the most unique graduates in the industry today in Foxcatcher.
Look at all those designations. I mean, he fits about every single one of them.
Absolutely.
The next bull, I think, is a bull that you talk about balance, and we talk about that all the time. I think when you look at Tropic 250H 14605, this bull's been incredibly popular. I don't need to tell you a lot more about him because a lot of you have used him. But he's a bull, again, that early in his career, the data looks really good. He's just balanced. Again, he fits Mastitis Resistance Pro, has been very popular, not only here in the States, but in Canada and internationally. And a bull that just has a beautiful linear with great type proof, positive production. Again, in the type world, just a little different, being a Hotline, who's a good bull from a Rubicon, from an Epic, goes back into the cookie cutter family on the bottom side. But the daughters that I've seen, the one thing I can tell you is they got great udders. These daughters pictured, the two on the right side of the screen, are both up in Canada. You can see those udders. The cow in the center here is a daughter from California. Just went very good as a 2-year-old out of Curtis Vandenberg. She's got a screaming good udder. Saw her just recently, fresh in February. So of all the Tropics I've seen, great udders is a given. And I think a bull with a slightly different pedigree, but I was really glad to see this bull come back in the lineup because he fits a lot of needs for our market. Probably going to be a really heavy use SMS bull like he has already.
Well, 7H14436, big dollars. With the help of genomics, you can name a bull young in his career, and I think we appropriately got this bull named. Big dollars graduates with over 100 daughters in this proof from King's Ransom at 932 net merit. He'll be a top 25 net merit bull, and he'll be a top 15, 16 HHP bull as well. So big dollars, big profit. And that's what this bull is. He's a frazzled son from an 83-point predestined, Spark, then an 88-point predestined, and then a 94 Dorsey Dextra Foundation cow up at King's Ransom. That's made so many great ones throughout the years and really stood the test of time. And we can go back to M. Toto Dima if you're old enough like me and remember her contribution. So this family has been around longer than I've been around. Production extraordinaire at almost 2,200 pounds of milk, 72 pounds of fat. Another bull with huge yield deviations, suggesting there's some upward movement in this bull. Leg side view right in the middle where we want to have it to help us with that flexibility and mobility issue we have a little bit in the Holstein breeds or some herds specifically. Teat placement, teat length to the right where we want to have them. This is a profit generator. And then to me, when you look at all those Zoetis traits, this bull's 1,200 DWP. He's over 100 or above breed average for disease resistance, whether it's mastitis or lameness or metritis. He's another one of those invisible kind of a bull. He's going to sire cows that you're not going to notice except on test day. And exciting to have another strong bull to frazzled son. I think we've got a video coming up here of a cow at Larson Acres, a daughter at Larson Acres as well, and just a nice representative of a young immature 2-year-old with a really good udder that to me is only going to get better as she gets older. Harlow 14H14587, one of the few achiever sons that we have in our system. And now with the Judgment Day and 230 daughters has proven to be one of the better achiever sons in the industry. His dam was a silver heifer that was a beautiful young heifer that was lost as she either right before or after she calved, unfortunately, but was one of those real eye-catching heifers. Next dam was an excellent numero uno. And then a very good planet behind that. So excited to have this G-Force bull that was a very popular G-Force bull because of that great sire conception rate at plus 2.7. Now come back into the proven lineup. Another linear that a lot of producers I think are going to really appreciate. Moderately to the left from a size standpoint, but yet to the right from an udder composite and from a foot and leg standpoint at 1.44 on udder composite and 104 pounds of fat. He does a lot of the things the Achiever does, but he gives you a little more volume at over 1,100 pounds of milk. So I think an exciting bull, especially when we look at the pedigree. This bull goes into our different sire category. He's a bull you can use on nearly every select sire's pedigree that you may have used in the past, whether it's the Mogul blood, the Montrose blood, the Frazzled blood. you don't have to worry about increasing your inbreeding levels too far. And Kevin, while we've got Harlow on the screen, Brian Anderson asked a question, which this is a nice illustration. If you'd leave him up, if you could. Brian asked, do we ever strive to create a particular bull proof or a bull when doing contract mating? Some breeders would like to see stature below 1, but still have body depth and strength around 1 or above, or robot ready style long teats, but rear teats wider apart. And the answer to that, Brian, is absolutely. We have some tools in our system as we design or look at potential matings. And we can't control the outcome, obviously, but we can try to steer the mating in a particular direction by doubling up certain combinations of traits. And so we might look at a parent average, for example, of a particular mating and have a linear very much like this. Now, yes, we'd like maybe strength and depth to be further to the right. That's a whole nother topic and conversation of if we can do that the way our system is today in classification systems. But Brian, we absolutely try to do that. And with the different people we have in our department, with our little scientist hats on, or how we think about designing a particular mating, we get lots of different outcomes and lots of different scenarios, which gives us the diversity of our lineup. So we're not just a one-stop shop. If you want HHP, we're going to develop it, DWP, TPI, net merit, milk, udder composite, all of those things. We're continually on a daily basis trying to design those matings up front to produce the end results that we want to see in a bull like Harlow and many others. You
have a scientist hat. I just reap the benefits of the stuff that you guys come up with and utilize those tools. I'm just an end user, but I'll only add with that Brian, that yes, I mean, there's methodologies to everything. I illustrated using frostbite in matings back in December, to take that linear that's maybe a little extreme and take it back to the middle. I mean, when you look at those parent averages and those linears as we're looking at potential mating sires, so we just have to always try to import to all of our customers. It's a big tent and a big world out there. Not every bull is going to be exactly what you need for your specific needs, but we got a lot of needs, and we're a global company, and we're going to try to make something that fits the needs of a lot of different people. So, our goal and mission is to do that. So switching gears, we're going to talk a little bit about next gen here for a few minutes, and just a couple of highlights of the success that this program has had. If you look at the top ranking females in the breed today, 13 of the top 38 heifers as of this week for GTPI in the industry are the result of a producer buying next gen seed. I think that's pretty impressive that people are getting that access and having the opportunities. And some of those are people that we and myself and Rick and Jordan work with on a continual basis. Some of those are people that we wouldn't have. And I think that the ability to cast that wide net, I think, is a really, really exciting thing. The other side of it is we'll continue to grow in membership. We're going to continue to keep growing bulls. We bring it down every time at proof time, and we're going to bring it up. And I think not only the bulls we're going to touch on here in a moment, but what you're going to see in the next few months. If you're a next gen member, you're going to be really, really happy with what you see coming down the pike, because it's pretty exciting. So the first bull we want to talk about today is really quite a special situation with the bull on the screen, 7H15807 George Miller. If any of you are longtime Select Sires customers and have been at this for a while, one of the two founding fathers of this organization, along with Richard Chichester, is George Miller. And the abilities for people like Rick and myself to have been able to interact with George, because he would call us as Sire team members, even in his 90s, wanting to know what was going on. So he was truly a foundation of this organization, and he was truly someone that moved the needle of the breed forward with his involvement in elevation. So it's only fitting that we have a bull named George Miller that I think is going to move the needle of the breed in a whole new direction. We've talked about HHP. We've talked about futuristic indexes. Here's a bull that epitomizes what that new index is going to do in HHP. He's the #1 HHP bull in the breed. He's one of the highest DWP bulls in the breed. He's exceptional in his fitness traits, and one of the breed's best for mastitis resistance at 5.5 on CDCB mastitis, 111 on Zoetis. In doing that with the ability to be 55 pounds of protein with those exceptional percents, good udders, right casings on Kappa casing, out of a mother who's very good already as a young cow, and then the next 12 of the next 13 dams behind this bull are all very good or excellent. So he's really fits what George would have wanted us to do. In addition to what we're doing with George Miller, and I just want to mention this as well, is that we're going to be donating proceeds from every unit of semen of George Miller that is sold to the Holstein Foundation to start a scholarship in honor of George. And so all of this kind of tied together really well, and then we couldn't think of a better partner herd or group that works with both myself and the art program and Mike Larson at Larson Acres. And so, Mike was really honored that we put this bull into the program. We just pictured the black cow here that's 85 as a 2-year-old now, just a week or so ago. And so I think he's one of the really, really exciting new bulls of next gen because of all the things he does.
Well, you couldn't have said it any better. And, George's contribution and how many young people he gave their start in the career in the AI industry to be able to donate to a scholarship that'll give more young people an opportunity to further education and hopefully someday enter this wonderful industry is a great opportunity. Another really exciting new next gen release is 7H15966 Isaac, bull bred by Keith Kimball at La Casa de Leche in New York. He's another Taos son out of a Langley, which you might have to look up. Langley was a hotline son, a bull that we do certainly like and appreciate what that bull has done. Next dam, an 83 Duke, and then a good plus 80 Denver behind that. Here's a really high-ranking new TPI bull for the Next Gen program. He'll be one of our top 10 TPI bulls at 3068. He's another bull that offers maybe a little more type appeal for some Next Gen customers with that right-handed linear profile. He's nearly 1.5 points on udder composite, 1.75 on type. He is a bull that scores quite well in Canada at over 3,700 LPI. He's an A2 sire and a bull that really should complement, again, some former Next Gen sire lines in Game Day daughters and Legacy daughters. The bull is going to complement those two daughter groups particularly well. And Isaac is, I think, a really exciting member of Taos or son of Taos that we've added several Taos sons and very excited about what that Renegade son is going to continue to contribute in a positive way. Another Taos son from Welcome Tell up in Schuylerville, New York is Hake, 7H15977. Here's a bull we talked about Tahiti earlier, and a bull that directly benefits from that to huge increase is Hake himself. His dam is an 82-point Tahiti daughter pictured there in the right-hand side of the screen, the upper right. She is currently pregnant, dry, and due to calve again. So doing all those things that we like our cow families and cow bull mothers to do. The cow below her is the Grand Dam, the Montross Hadley cow, which was one of the poster girls for Montross back in the day. It goes back to the Halo cow family. So you got a full pedigree bull from a great cow family, high component percent fat bull at plus 0.18. Love the HHP on this bull. He is number 2 after George Miller in the breed at 1298. You look at that low somatic cell, extreme mastitis resistant scores at 105 at Zoetis and plus 4.7 at CDBC, and another bull at plus 1.9. Linear wise, I like what this bull contributes. Again, slightly to the right on teat length, right in the middle on front and rear teat placement, and right in the middle on where those legs need to be for improved flexibility and mobility. So an exciting new release bull for us here in 7H15977 Hake.
This has been my number 1 mating sire for a couple of months because he just fits. Now that we're starting to mate some of these game days and needing something a little different, he's been a really, really welcome addition because of being a Taos son.
Another interesting new bull in the Next Gen program is a polled bull, 14H15929 Cirrus P from our friends out at Windstar. A Parfect son out of a good plus 81 Kenobi, and then a very good Delta. Cirrus P is going to help us move the needle in the right direction from increasing the frequency of the pole gene without sacrificing a genetic level at over 2935. He's also A2 and BB for desirable caseins on both those particular caseins. another high mastitis resistant bull at 105 for Zoetis and plus 2.5. A very, very easy to use linear profile. And one of the other earlier questions, I believe, from Brian was to touch on Parfect and his success. And without a doubt, he's been one of our favorite bulls. He's been one of the highest selling bulls that we've had at Select Sires in quite some time. And we are now starting to see his first sons contribute. Dovetailing that to answer a question from Daniel Brazil asking about who's the new hot bull. And he's referencing a bull named Wilra Game Day Con. That's scheduled for a summer release into next gen. And the new hot bull is I could tell you, take your pick. In this, depending on
a lot of them got Parfect in them, that's for sure.
But there are some Parfect sons, a bull named Soy Sauce, a bull named Figaro, and I'm going to miss some as well. But we've got some really, really nice hot new bulls, depending on your breeding strategy, that I think you're going to be very, very pleased with coming forward.
The pipeline is full. That's the best way to put it. The last of the next gen bulls, certainly I'll touch on, and we talked about him in December. A bull that again just continues to do well because this bull to me is very exciting. Coming from Arnie Gurnis at T-Spurs, he's T-Spurs bred both top and bottom. Granada is a Nugent son that they bred that's in our G-Force lineup, and then the Lionel on the bottom side out of 13,196. He's one of the highest net mirror. He's number 2 net mirror bull to breed at 1269. One of the high HHP bulls, 1456 on DWP, along with the right casings, and just a bull that's going to be a needle moving bull. And again, his first calves are from planned matings are due in about 60 days. So it'll be exciting to see what those frostbite calves are going to start testing out at here shortly. But I mentioned to you again on our December broadcast about the fact that his mother was due to calve. And the good news is she is fresh. She just calved her a few days ago. But Arnie and his team sent me some photos last week of this big spring and heifer that's going to have a major, major contribution to the breed. And she goes back into the Coin Farms Ramos Jelly cow family. But you can see she's big, she's wide, she's strong. Didn't calve at 2 years of age, I can tell you that, but she's fresh. She had a heifer calf last week. She's off to the races and running. And I think when you see a donor that I think is going to have a pretty positive impact, I think that's pretty exciting. I know, Tyrone Aho, you had a question before we move to a couple of these other young sires on legacy. And I know, Rick, you touched on it at the beginning, but, history is going to end up being pretty kind to this bull. Again, when I was just out at Larson Acres and we pictured George Miller's mother, we did about 3 or 4 other legacies, and they are late first lactation, some now coming in their second lactation. I think he summed it up best when he said they change. They're not even remotely the same 2-year-old when they're 2 years old and they calve to 3 years old when they're ready to go dry or calving in for the second time. So they change a lot. He's a bull that their udders are quite good. He added a lot of data this time, and it was all positive change in that data. And actually, he was one of the bulls when the right type file came in. He got quite a bit better in that his TPI went up and his net merit actually went down $4 because his body size increased. So he ranks as one of the 10 highest net merit bulls for proven sires in the breed. We're pretty pleased about it because obviously we've got a big influence in our program on this bull, and I think history is going to be pretty kind to it. So, yeah. What are you young sires? But Rick, you got any other thoughts on legacy?
Well, yeah, I saw that question pop up, and I'm like, I would love to touch on legacy. Anytime a bull sires good udders, he's got a chance. And legacy sires good udders. And anytime a bull is an extreme fitness trait bull, he has a chance if the daughters live up to their expectations for positive fertility and longevity. Sometimes we have to be patient in this industry, and we're not very good at it. But we want cows that last, and that takes patience. And legacy is that kind of a bull. He sires smaller cows, without a doubt. But that's the direction that a lot of producers want to go. So he is going to help us continuing to moderate stature. And I talked to Bill Peck this morning. I was there 6 months ago, looking at cows. And as we walked back to the office to my right was a pen of cows, and I was just reading tags, and it was legacy, 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 legacy. And I said, Bill, what's the significance of this group of cows? And he said, well, these are all pregnant. They're all bred. And those cows have all freshened again. And he made the comment as he was showing these second lactation legacies to guys that, they're like, how do you have second lactation legacies? He's like, well, when you calve them for the first time at 1.9 and you calve them back again for the second time at 2.8, you have a lot of legacies. And we have to be patient. Fortunately, I was very happy that the proof reflected legacy in what he is. And I think we're truly getting a much clearer picture of what that bull is and the positive contribution that he can make. And as it spreads throughout our program, it's a big contribution. And we're very fortunate to have it kind of live up to our hopes and expectations of a bull that sires longevity, sires fertile cows, and gives you a great udder. And they're going to grow up and they're going to fill out and they're going to be just big enough for most herds around the country and the world.
And the other good news I'll mention before we talk some of these Perfect sons and continue to keep Brian happy with what he's going to see here next. Legacy's mother just calved for the 4th time. She's up at T Spruce. Arnie bought the cow off to the races and doing great. And I saw that cow last year's 3rd lactation cow. She scored very good 87. She changed tremendously from 2-year-old to 3rd lactation, and now with her 4th calf, even more so. So I think that's what we can look forward to. So let's talk on some readily available, non-restricted young bulls.
Yep, jumping into our G-Force bulls and bulls that have been available or newly available, 7H15793 Perfect Pierce. Kind of a unique pedigree bull here. An 83-point Rio dam from our friends at Attaway in Iowa. Next dam was a very good Helix and then a very good Tango. So another bull that stacks up perfectly for frazzled and frazzled daughters and granddaughters. Bull at over 3,000 on his TPI, a bull with good mastitis resistance scores, a good DWP bull. You've got his dam and grand dam there on your screen, representative of the full cow family behind Pierce. A full linear profile and just a really strong new addition, and a nice glimpse, Kevin, of Perfect in the genetic contributions we have coming in through him and his sons moving forward. 7H15769 Hecker, another name very fond to us in the Select Sires family that taught us a lot of the principles in genetic acquisition, sire selection, and John Hecker. Another Perfect son, this time out of a legacy from a very good Achiever model cow pictured on the screen, and then her grand dam, the 88 Oktoberfest, the nice cow family that's done very well from us from the Windstar herd as well. Hecker is an A2 sire. He's another bull that's a high deviation percent fat and protein bull, a low somatic cell, high mastitis resistance bull. You see the logos there, mastitis resistant pro on this bull. He's also pretty high on Feed Pro. A bull that does very well on HHP, and another, again, to me, very, very easy to use linear profile. And over 2 points on udder composite. And it gets hard to find bulls that have high genetic rankings with 2 points on udder composite. But Hecker gives us a really strong addition there, and another really fine Perfect son to our lineup.
And said earlier about the Tau sons, and he's just been a great bull for us in terms of those Renegade sons. And you think about now these Tau sons are Renegade grandsons. The next bull on the screen here, 7H15945 Sandy Valley T Roswell, Tau son from a legacy. So back again, Tyrone, seeing that influence that's in there. But this bull, one of our breed leaders for HHP at over 1,200. So he's right near the top of the charts in those respects. He gives solid production. When you got almost everything boxed in green, you know that the bull doesn't have any holes. And what I appreciate on this bull is that high DPR, great mastitis resistance, and then a 1.5 on udders. And then he's A2. And then I like his mother. Some of the best legacies I've seen in the last 12 months have been at Sandy Valley. And they're going to turn into great, great cows. This one's 83 as a 2-year-old. They got some others that we have sons from that are already very good, going to move up and score. And then an Outlast, and then Sandy Valley Eternity, who is one of my all-time favorites here pictured on the screen. So this bull's going to do really, really well. He fits, again, a multitude of designations. robots, grazing, mastitis, feed pro. So this bull, again, I think very, very easy bull to use. Helix blood, mogul blood, just can be a lot of things that this bull can get used.
14H15779 Gibson is another interesting bull to discuss here. Earlier, we talked about the positive influence of Tahiti and what it did to Moonshiner, and then consequently to the Moonshiner sons. And Gibson is one of our best Moonshiner sons. His dam is the 82-point Renegade pictured there on your screen. Next dam was a Good Plus Frazzled, one of the early acquisitions in the art program from Double Eagle in Michigan. Traces back, if you go far enough, to a great superstition daughter, Barbara, bred by Richmonds and developed at Penn England, that has just thrived at the Penn England herd. So this is a cow family that I have tremendous confidence in, knowing what's behind Gibson. He's a bull that had nice increases across the board for all of his traits, production, and type. He's another mastitis resistance pro bull with that low somatic cell and high mastitis resistance. He's nearly 1,700 pounds of milk and 1.87 on udder composite, so another hard-to-find combination of extreme milk and type. Ideal leg set. This has been a very popular bull. He scores well on some of the other international indexes in addition to that. And while we're talking about Gibson, Wesley Smith asked about thoughts on 15915 Cashback, excuse me. So Cashback is another Moonshiner son that had a tremendous day. We talked about more bulls than we could possibly talk about in hopefully 60 minutes. And Cashback was one of those bulls that could easily be on the screen here today. He had, like I said, a great day. He's now 3,057. He's over 1,000 net merit. He's over 1,100 DWP. In a really, really nice full pedigreed bull too. So this is why we've got to, do your homework, go to the website, go to the sire directories, because everything is refreshed. Everything's new, especially when you have bulls like Renegade that had great days, great bulls like this bull Gibson gets it twice, a big day from Tahiti and Moonshiner, a big day from Renegade. So everything is refreshed and new and more accurate, because we have a lot more data behind the pedigrees of these bulls to substantiate their genomic predictions.
So going to switch gears here, switch colors, and I think we're caught up on most of these questions, but red has certainly been the rage. We've grown in this program immensely, and I knew this day was going to come where we had a big graduation day with some bulls, because 2017 was a good year to buy red bulls or red factored bulls. And the first one into the proven ranks is been one of my favorites for a long time. And that's 250H 14465 Ronald. Herd and a group of people that I just absolutely love working with, the Hendricksons and Dr. Schneller. And they've developed an amazing red family that doesn't have apple in the pedigree. And in the case of Ronald, confirming what we've seen all along, or what we liked all along as a young sire, the bull just is balanced. He's solid production. He's great type. He's in the top end of the breed for TPI, the red and red factor bulls, proven status. He's plus on DPR. Look at all of those fitness traits. I mean, he's mastitis resistance pro, so he fits our future. He's got a balanced linear profile. He's settled cows, and he makes great cows, whether they're red and white or black and white, as you can see on the screen. And he's been an incredibly influential sire father with bulls like Trumpet and McDonald P. So this bull's going to have quite an influence. I think better days are yet to come on him yet. But as you can see, these are all new daughter photos that we've shown on him. Many of them are already very good as 2-year-olds, both red, black, U.S., Canada. I think a pretty exciting addition to the red program. Again, he down the road, Dr. Schneller owned another silver out of the numero uno. Oh, and by the way, in the case of Ronald, he's got 12 excellent dams and traces back to Roxy. So as I said, down the road, Andy Buttles, he had a full sister to Ronald's mother named Silver Regal. She was 87. They ended up having a red 100% full brother to Ronald named Reeve Red. And he now, with over 200 daughters in his proof, graduates. He's the number 2 proven red and white bull in the breed now, second only to Rage Red. And again, no apple in his pedigree, maybe a little more extreme in his linear traits. The one thing I know he's always done, he's maybe not quite as extreme on his fitness traits, but he settles cows. He had 2.3 on his SCR. And the other thing I can mention on rebred, if we had a grand champion competition of bulls that live in Westby, Wisconsin, or maybe at every facility at Select Sires, Red would be right near the top of the charts. He is an amazing individual. Hope we get him pictured again as a mature bull. He is an amazing, amazing specimen. But not to be outdone in reds, we also graduated the number 4 red bull in the breed, who does trace back to Apple, and that's 7H14460 Crown Red, an apprentice son out of a Delta who's just south of me here in Dodge County, Wisconsin. Going to calf here again. She's 88 points, then an 86-point McCutcheon, and then Apple. And he comes to the table with, again, mastitis resistance, solid type, good linear, 477 pounds of milk. So again, within the red breed, a bull that fits Roebuck designation, fits mastitis resistance pro. So really excited what we brought in terms of progeny-proven red bulls with a lot of data, and I think they're going to continue to do well. The other good news in the red business on the Apple side of things is we released 7H15-825 Boss-Eyed Rebel Red from the Next Gen program. We began his career there. He's now readily available. Again, I think one of the most unique bulls in the breed. He's the number 2 red TPI bull in the industry today. Number 5 for red and red factored at 28.11. Positive on his SCR. Again, when you can combine good production, 2 points of udders, high mastitis resistance, and A2A2 and BB, that's a great combination. The other side of Rebel is that his mother, very good cow, pictured here on the side of the stage. Then a very good gate dance. Then the next dam was a great cow, and then the Uno out of Apple. So he pushes Apple all the way back to the 5th spot, and just an exceptional bull that we're really excited about to bring, readily available, and a bull we've used as a sire fund. But now we're going to switch gears again to showcase, because balance is where it's at for us. We believe in balance. We believe in balance in our traditional program, believe in balance when we bring in showcase bulls. And Rick, I've talked enough about this stupid next bull, so I'm going to let you take the stage on Hancock.
I was a little surprised when I saw the list and you were giving me the opportunity to talk about this bull, but Hancock 250H 14579, a bull that goes back to a cow family we're very, very proud of and familiar with. We've argued about the Grand Dam Mogul Handy versus Mogul Hanker for years now, both exceptional, extraordinary cows, and Hanker has certainly developed a tremendous lineup and offspring and contributions to our program. Hancock's our first proven doc son. He's an A2 sire. He's a tremendous fertility bull, but type is what moves the needle on this bull. And he is one of the highest type bulls in the breed. He's the number 1 udder composite bull in the breed at 3.19. With those 78 classified daughters, you've got loads and loads of great daughter promotional information and daughters pictured, and the reports roll in daily of another new impressive Hancock daughter somewhere. Just like Doc himself, here's in Hancock, we've got surprisingly a bull that doesn't fall far from the tree. Over 1,200 pounds of milk with extreme type. That's exactly what Doc gives us, and now Hancock is carrying on that family tradition. A bull that also, regardless of whether we're breeding for showcase or red or polled, we're also focusing on those core traits that are important. And another great mastitis resistance bull, Kevin, at 105 for Zoetis, a plus 1.9 at CDBC. So more than just a pretty face here or a pretty picture as far as what Hancock is contributing. Full pedigree, outstanding type, confirmed with nearly 80 classified daughters, and confirmed production proof too, with over 250 daughters in at 1,200 of milk and 55 of fat and 44 of protein. So happy to have this bull graduate and confirm what we've said all along, and just a really, really exciting proven release and still in showcase selections.
Now, just to add on this, I looked this morning because now we can look at recently scored daughters of top 100 TPI sires. There's been 30 Hancocks scored in the last 30 days. They wouldn't be in his type proof. 4 of them were very good 87 as young cows. So he's making terrific udders. Really looking forward to his contribution. The other bull that graduated in the showcase side of things was, again, in the red program and born in 2017, is 7H14477, Mr. Blonde and Warrior Red. Bull that was premier sire of the heifer show last year at Wilder Expo. You go to sales, you go to shows, whether they're black and white or red and white, everybody's talking about how good the Warrior heifers are. The question is, will they make cows? I think what you see pictured on the screen here and the amount of daughters that I've seen this winter, whether it's here in Wisconsin, California, as they're calving in, they're meeting the muster. And terrific udders. His data looks really good. And you look at that linear and you see something that you assume was going to make the right kind, and they do. Again, a mastitis resistance pro bull. But to me, the unique part of Warrior Red is that he is one of our best calf wellness bulls in the Zoetis traits. And I actually look at these pretty closely now on showcase bulls, because the last thing you want to do is then have your kid's show calf not get off to a great start, because that's probably the kind that don't do as well. And I think maybe that's why Warrior's done as well as he has. But he's got this great pedigree through the Dorman that's very good in Canada, then an Atwood and Rocky Mountain Gold winner. Just always been a fan of this bull, and he's hit the muster, and he's now a graduate. And I think both here and north of the border, the reports are really, really good. In the case of Hancock, I let you talk about Hancock Rick because I was going to talk about Hannon's, because he's the Excalibur son out of his full sister, 28-286 pictured here. Again, a bull that's going to have a major, major impact on showcase through his sons, through his own influence, being our #1 type bull at 3.97. But the fact that this Excalibur son, there are Hanan sons just starting to make semen already. And the good news is they're brothers to Parfect as well, the first ones. And so putting those two families together is pretty exciting. But if you've been to any sales this spring, these Hannon's heifers have really stood out. We had March Madness here a couple weeks ago, and they were some of the best heifers that we saw. So we're excited about this bull. His fertility's been good. He's A2, he's BB. I think this bull's going to have a pretty big influence. Also gives me a chance to talk about Excalibur. Yes, he was one of those bulls that I said early on we could have graduated other bulls, but we ended up that this bull just didn't. Excalibur's got a great proof. He's 279 on type, but with 14 new graduates, we're going to see his influence through his sons.
Well, Kevin, earlier we talked about Tropic, and we get to wrap things up here towards the end, talking about an exciting Tropic son in 7H15984 OCD Tropic Merlin. Merlin is, as I said, a Tropic son from an 88-point King Doc daughter up in Canada. The next dam is the 94 Delta Missy cow on your screen. That's gained so much notoriety because of the tremendous cow that she was, in thriving up at Oakfield Corners with a great udder and just extreme balance without being too tall and too big, just the right kind of cow. And so it's exciting to have a grandson of hers available in showcase with Merlin. He's just short of 3 points on type. He's over 2 points on udder composite. And I think a bull that has, again, a proven cow family now with a proven sire and obviously a very well-documented maternal grandsire and great maternal grandsire. So Merlin's a nice new option for something just a little bit unique and an exciting Tropic son to introduce here out of the great Missy cow family.
I'll just make one more mention on these Missies. The Thunderstrucks and Mystic Crushes have been the calves that everybody's talking about this spring. But we got one last bull to finish up with you guys. And that's a bull that's got a little bit of an international flavor, and that's 7H15581 Amethyst P. A bull that actually lives in Australia. We procured the bull from Australia, and we're importing the semen on the bull. But he just seemed too good to pass up when you think of a polled bull who's one of the highest in the breed on type at 3.65, a beautiful linear, 900 pounds of milk. His mother's an 87-point doc. You can see her pictured. The next dam is a very good arch rival. Then it goes back into the Chief Dean cow family. So it's a family that we know about. Declan Platten, we were glad to get the bull brought into the program from him, and we're just really excited to see this bull add to the showcase lineup from sort of an international flair. He is going to have sorted semen. We have semen here in the country, but it's a process, so be patient. But I think this bull's been worth the wait. Really, really an exciting bull at showcase. So that's what we had. I do see there's a question here on Ice on P. Again, one of the Parfait sons that I think is really got some great attributes to him. I know he's internationally, he does well in several indexes, and we're happy with any of these Parfait sons. It's sort of flip a coin and decide which one you like the best.
Yeah, and Kevin, just to note, our coworkers are watching. So as Catherine's question popped up, Mark Kern sent me a text and just said he saw Ice and P's Dam a couple weeks ago. She just scored good plus 83, and a cow that he's really, really excited about. And to quote Mark, use him with confidence. So, Catherine, there's your Facebook live answer with wonderful communications going on as we speak from the field staff.
Well, that's teamwork. So and we certainly answer any other questions you have. I'm not sure I'm seeing any others that are on there at the moment, but like I say, it's a lot of great information, and I know we're a couple minutes over, but certainly want to thank you guys again for the opportunities to visit with you about the bull program. It's Rick and I are about on the same trek age-wise. In my career in AI, I've never worked on a day where we had 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the proven bulls, and so it was an exciting day. But like I say, happy Easter, and we'll see you on down the road.
Thanks for joining us, and look forward to talking down the way. Happy Easter, everybody.